The news broke, and it felt like more than just a headline. It was like a tremor right at the foundation of this massive global empire.
Exactly.
Welcome to StarScope Report. I'm Jordan.
And I'm Jamie. And today we're diving deep into the story behind the fame, focusing on a figure who spent her entire life avoiding it.
On Tuesday, November 25, 2025, the quiet anchor of the Virgin dynasty was suddenly gone. After 50 years, Joan Templeman had passed away.
And for Sir Richard Branson, a man whose entire life is a spectacle, this quiet personal loss is, I think, the most telling story of all. It forces you to look past the brand, past the balloons and the spaceships.
Yeah, and to really see the person who made all of that possible, that's our mission today, to explore the intensely private life and the essential influence of Joan Templeman.
It's a huge paradox, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, how does the partner of one of the most public billionaires on the planet stay so completely private?
For 50 years! It's kind of a superpower.
It really is.
So let's start with how the world found out. Because for a woman who avoided the spotlight, the announcement came from the most public place imaginable.
Right, from Sir Richard Branson himself.
Yeah.
On Instagram, he just came out and confirmed that Joan, his partner since 1975, was gone. And his words, they were just so direct, so raw.
He just wrote that he was heartbroken.
Mm-hmm. And then the words he used to describe her, they tell you everything you need to know about their dynamic.
He said she was my best friend, my rock, my guiding light, my world. He didn't lead with her status or anything like that.
No, it was all emotional, all about her role. And then he immediately pivots to family, calling her the most wonderful mom and grandmum.
It's all there. He's the aviator, right? The guy who's always in motion, always taking these huge risks.
And she was the rock, the guiding light. Those words mean stability, constancy. She was the ground he could always return to. She was, the psychological infrastructure for all of his gambles.
The gravitational pull. And that dedication to her own private world, it defined everything, right up to the very end.
That's the key detail.
Yeah.
I mean, in an age where every celebrity death is picked apart, the cause, the location, the final moments.
There was nothing.
Absolutely nothing. The family gave no information on the time, the cause, or where she passed. And that silence, it speaks volumes.
It had to be delivered. I mean, she famously almost never gave interviews.
Not in 5 decades.
Yeah.
They were protecting her legacy of seclusion. They made sure the story was about her life, not the details of her death.
Which is just a remarkable act of privacy today.
It really is. And it tells you so much about who she was from the very beginning of their story. She was never, ever impressed by fame.
Okay, so let's get into that. The origin story is, it's like something out of a movie. The bric-a-brac romance.
It's fantastic. So the year is 1976. Joan Templeman is from Glasgow, very working class background. She's working at this little bric-a-brac shop in Westbourne Grove in London.
And in walks Richard Branson. By this point, Virgin Records is taking off. He's becoming kind of a big deal in that whole wealthy, bohemian London scene.
But he walks in, and he meets her, and it's just game over. He said it was love at first sight.
He described her as a blonde-haired, down-to-earth Scottish beauty who didn't suffer fools. And that last part is everything, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. She was not impressed. He freely admits he had to, hang around the shop for months buying all the stuff he didn't need.
He actually used the word stalking, didn't he? Jokingly, but still.
He did. He was buying random trinkets, old lamps, just for a chance to talk to her for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It shows you who really had the power in that situation.
You have to picture it. This guy who's about to launch airlines is spending his afternoons buying dusty old china just to get a woman's attention. It's kind of adorable, actually.
It proved he was serious, I guess. It forced him to slow down and show he valued her, not just his own growing fame.
And this is where the story takes that wild turn into pop culture history.
Oh, yeah.
Such a random connection. So among all the junk he's buying to impress her, he picks up an old Danish bacon advertising sign.
A vintage sign? And it has a picture of a pig and a hen singing.
With a caption.
Now, that's what I call music.
And boom, the light bulb goes off. That phrase, from a sign he bought just as an excuse to talk to Joan, becomes the name for now that's what I call a music compilation series.
Which is just a monster of a franchise. It launched in '83 and became this global phenomenon. I mean, the amount of money that series has generated for Virgin over the decades is just staggering.
So in a way, she's unintentionally at the root of one of Virgin's biggest cash cows. Their private courtship became a huge piece of public commerce.
It's an incredible thought. We don't know how she felt about it. because she never spoke about it, of course. But you get the sense she supported his ambition. She just had no interest in the celebrity that came with it.
And if you're loving these intimate Hollywood twists, make sure you're subscribed because we have even crazier stories ahead, including how this romance led to a $180,000 gamble that could have sunk everything.
A huge, huge risk.
So that brings us to Necker Island. Just 2 years after they meet, Branson makes this completely impulsive decision. He buys an entire island.
An uninhabited island in the British Virgin Islands. The price was $180,000.
Which, sounds like a bargain now for an island, but back then...
Back then, in the late 70s, it was a fortune. Virgin Records was growing, sure, but it wasn't the powerhouse it is today. They were, frankly, strapped for cash.
Branson even admitted it. He said he just did not have the money. His exact words were, "But try telling that to a fool in love."
It was 100% an emotional decision, not a financial one. A massive risk for his business.
But that reckless gesture became her salvation in a way.
It did. The island became their ultimate sanctuary. It was one place they could go to escape the media glare, which was just getting more and more intense. It was a real home, completely isolated.
It was their fortress of solitude. And it became the place where they built their family through incredible joy and also just profound tragedy.
They married on the island in 1989. But before that, they faced the loss of their first daughter, Claire Sarah. She was born very premature and only lived for 4 days.
And to go through that together, in private, away from the whole world, that builds a foundation that nothing can really shake. It made Necker more than just property. It became like sacred ground for their family.
Absolutely, and that tradition just continued. Both their other children, Holly and Sam, got married on Necker Island as well.
Wow.
It all comes back to that one crazy, financially irresponsible act of love. Everything is anchored to that gesture he made to win her over.
He always said she was his greatest source of support and wisdom. She was the calm to his storm.
She was the counter brand. Her complete refusal to be a celebrity actually made him seem more authentic. It showed there was a real human core to this massive corporate empire.
If the sheer scale of this story fascinates you, the balance between that huge risk and this deep, quiet stability, don't miss our next deep dive. Hit that subscribe button now so you don't miss what's coming.
You won't want to.
So we come back to the beginning, the loss of the anchor. A man known for flying high, for taking these spectacular risks, who depended completely on a woman who just wanted to stay on the ground.
Right. I mean, his whole career is built on volatility, on bouncing back from failures, right? Balloon crashes, rocket problems, you name it. But he always had that one constant. He always had his anchor to come home to.
And now, for the first time in 50 years, that constant is gone.
And that leaves you with a really profound question. For a person like Branson, whose whole identity is wrapped up in resilience and forward motion, what happens when that psychological home base, that emotional gravity, just isn't there anymore? How does that void affect the future of Virgin? Or even his own appetite for risk? It is truly the end of an era that was defined by that perfect balance between the aviator and the anchor.
A powerful thought to end on. It was a privilege to dive into this story.
It really was.
You've been listening to StarScope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.